Well, parenting in these times, and of course in this age, is no mean feat. But parenting of teens is another kettle of fish. So this morning we are talking teens, their psychology and challenges of parenting in times like this. A social enterprise expert joins us this morning to discuss this very topical issue. He's Godwill Ogbonna. Good morning, Godwill, and thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning, thank you very much.
Right, so you're a social enterprise expert.
Yeah.
What does that mean, really?
Okay, it's actually an ideology of trying to know about ways to really blend some societal issues, understanding the issues as they come and having a relatable idea on how to handle each of them as it has to corporate firms, families, individuals, and the rest of them.
All right, so you look out for societal gaps, problems, needs,
yes.
And then you try to fashion a solution. To those, concerns. Absolutely, you're welcome. So we're talking about teens and their psychology. Like I said in the introduction, when you're parenting toddlers or children 10 or below, they come with their challenges, but wait until you start parenting teenagers. Why are teenagers, well, for lack of a better word, why are they challenging to parents?
Okay, the first of it is human beings generally have these independent tendencies, and so at some point when they become aware of who they are, or they are trying to become aware of who they are, so certain questions comes up in the mind that are probably structured because of the exposures they have, the school, the church, friendship, and all of those contact points. So the curiosity to know the how, the why, and the what becomes a challenge, because sometimes some parents are not ready to actually start from when it is necessary, not really at that point you start doing something to establish the right relationship, so that when they get to this stage, the attendant challenges, of course, will be addressed. It is a challenging stage because somebody wants to know why some things are the way they are. There's a question in their mind. They are thinking wild. Some things are informing their thoughts and ideology aside what is happening from the home. Okay, so that stage alone suggests a lot. So that's the challenge of human being curious to know things. Because they have left that innocent stage where you tell them all the time this, and they just obey. And they want to know why, at that stage, why they are doing what you're asking them to do.
In Africa, right, as a teen, you ask questions is seen as, well, insubordination.
That's right.
Of some sort. Now, it behoves on the parents to have an understanding of where the kids, the teenagers are in terms of their mental strength and their psychological, outlook. Now, how can parents prepare for the teenage years? Because it's not as if there's a dress rehearsal and then you come to become a parent. I mean, you learn on the job. Yeah. But how can parents proactively prepare? Parents of preteens, parents of toddlers, how can they proactively prepare for their teens during the teenage years?
Okay, preparation comes from the point where you get married. You must decide that if a human being must live with you, that you have a responsibility. A responsibility to understudy the different stages of the person's development. And each stage of that person's development comes with attendant demands.
Sure.
So you don't become ignorant as to the fact that this child is growing, and there is need to be aware, to be conscious, to get updated.
It's that awareness,
yes.
That self-awareness as a parent.
Yes.
It's not as cheap as we are talking.
It is not as cheap as we are talking,
yeah.
Actually, because people just want to answer the name that they are parents. but the intentional responsibility that goes with it, they are not altogether prepared for that. And so when you get parents who behave as if they are the only people living in an environment, they wake up in the morning, they care less about the other person, even their spouse in some cases, it also affects the child. The child wants to, perhaps at some point, wants somebody to wake him up from the bed, smile, get him to know the things he should do by practice. Perhaps in the morning he should know that it is time to get ready for the day. Even before that morning time, the evening time is also a time to prepare for the following day.
Sure.
So they need to see that leadership and influence happening around them. So parents should prepare by getting themselves up to date with information relevant for each stage of the child's development. If you say seminars, symposiums that has to do with young people, if nothing much should be done, at least the time should be created for you to attend one of them. If your organization or church group is organizing programs,
I like that you just mentioned church, because the Mama Nkechi that is a trader in Ogbete will not have time, doesn't even know what symposium means, but of course she attends at a Catholic church,
yes,
or a Pentecostal church.
Yes.
So what is the role of religion in shaping the psychology of not just the teenagers, but the parents, so that they can rise up to the occasion?
Yes, it is as serious as whatever you may think, because the families makes up the wider society, and of course the church is part of it. So the church has a role specifically to play on the children and teens department. Any church that don't have children and teens department, I personally think they are not serious, because this is a generation that will take over after the older persons has gone. So in that platform, parents are also in an organized forum invited and educated on what it takes to have a child in your house, and what it takes for you to follow up on the growth, the stages of the child's development. So when the parents are taught in the church, of course the pastors, the reverend fathers, the priests, they have an authority, they are seen as authority figures. So they have an influence over also some of the parents. I say some of the parents because some people who also attend churches can be as stubborn as anything. All right. So to the few you can gather, to the few you can get who are really intentional and willing, then there is huge structured, intentional, arranged method of communication to these parents to inform them. Do you have ages 0 to 5 in your house, ages 0 to 5 to 10 in your house? This is what you expect from that child. The child is behaving this way. It is not because he just woke up to start doing that. This is what is relative to that stage. You should know, you should prepare your mind for it. You don't just become deviant or become angry because the person, of course at some point in your life you would like them. That knowledge alone should make you to know that you should be accommodative.
Okay. Because we are actually interested in the psychology of the teen, we're taught, growing up from social studies, civic education, that a human being is influenced from nature or by nurture. Now, so based off of nature or nurture, what are those influences or those sources of influence, that impacts on the child's psychology? I also know that there's also peer influence. Everybody talks about it, but what other either innate or outward agencies or agents, what are they that actually shape a child's psychology, a teenager's psychology?
Okay, like you mentioned, apart from the peer group, you have also what is now popular, the social media. It's actually where most of them are buried. They sleep, they wake up, they eat in that domain. And because they do that, a lot of things has to be done there to help to actually provide a platform where they can know both, as they are getting to know the wrong ones, they are also seeing the right ones. So they get to see several issues happening, and these teenagers are funny. As these things are coming up, they are trying to interpret it with what is obtainable in their home.
Their perspective.
Yes, they want to really know why I'm seeing this, I'm seeing that. Why is it not here? And why is it not here? The question, that curiosity is there to know the why. And so, apart from the social media influence, and there is also this inferiority complex, whatever they call it, seeking for validation. So when a child wants to seek for validation to get approved, acceptability in the wider society, the pressure becomes so much that he wants to do something beyond what the other person is doing. He wants to get prepared more than the other person. He wants to do whatever that can be done. Yes. And when that happens and the child is not well schooled to know that having himself and his personal values is enough, as for a start, a child get derailed because he wants to be approved among his peers. He wants to be approved in the society. He wants to be validated what he is representing. He doesn't feel he's sufficient enough to fit into the society. So that sense of insufficiency makes the child to begin to think there is something more.
Hold that thought. I want you to look at this picture. If you can roll it back to where the father was instructing the child. How has the presence or the absence of fathers shaped psychology of teenagers? Because there's this wave or rave of fathers not being available.
Yeah.
You know, in those days, a father could be terrible, but he's present.
Yeah.
A father could be abusive, but he's providing. But in the recent times, fathers just nowhere. He just carries bags and is out. Have a lot of single mothers. How has this affected the psychology of teenagers in Nigeria?
All right. I'm just trying to comfort myself. I'm trying to feel emotional because of cases I've seen amongst the young people.
I understand.
The children come to you in the classroom and they ask you, "Excuse me, sir, I'm not seeing what you are doing at home." It means that nobody is available at home. If for the first time he's seeing somebody doing that, saying that, so he's trying to learn how to behave in a certain way because somebody is absent where he's supposed to be. So the absence of the father figure in the home, either by death or by divorce or whatever circumstance may be, or being over busy. You know, there are fathers, the only time their children get to see them is on Sundays. That is in the morning before the children wakes up, they are out. In the night, by the time the children are sleeping, that's the time they are setting in. For them, the children, they think they have a father, but a child open up and say, "I have a father in the house, but I barely even have one-on-one interaction with him." So the father figure affects the teenagers when they are not available to be an influence, provide influence, positive influence on the child. Because, you know, first of all, what the man does is leadership. He leads both himself, the wife, and the family. So that leadership, which of course the child learns from how to do certain things, how to understand and respond to certain circumstances in the home front. If it is not there, the child becomes another thing outside, because nobody is looking up to nobody from the house, which is the primary place where he should learn some basic values.
Interesting.
Okay, now the teachers, the church, the friends try to victimize them because they think they should know. The child is not aware of what you are doing. Is alien. He's saying that your father pecked you, your father did this, your father is coming to pick you up.
They can't relate, they don't understand.
What? I go home by myself, I do this, I do that, and early enough, the boy child starts becoming a father in a situation where he should be learning fatherhood. He's now, in real sense, learning on the job.
Now, I'm just trying to get more perspective from the absence of a father syndrome, either by death, divorce, abscondment. Now, in looking for a male figure, because culture, you know, culture pushes that there must be a female, there must be a male rather figure, even if the father is not there. Try to get a male figure because the woman cannot raise sons and things like that. Now, there's a news piece that came up today, Saturday Tribune. It says man rapes 12-year-old daughter of woman friend in Ondo. Now, how can be the single mother, a widow, a woman with kids, how can you protect your children, not just the girl child, but also the boy child, from negative influences of trying to get a male figure around? So in trying to protect them, and you decide to raise your kids by yourself, what would be your advice to these women?
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, I will start by advising that it's a very big task, because you are trying to double your efforts, so it's not something common at all. So you must appreciate the fact that you have accepted in the first place to do it, and because of the love you have for these children. And beyond the love, there is a commitment. That commitment goes beyond trying to provide for their basic needs, because what the woman thinks that's the only thing they need at that time is for somebody to keep what the other person should have been doing on. Provide for this, make this available, make this. And that's why when the child acts somehow and there's a report, the woman shouts and starts crying. Have I not been enough? Have I not been doing so much? So beyond what you've been doing as a mother, the advice is to also try to be available. That period you have in lunch in your office, if it is 1 hour and you can step out and the school of your child is close by, preferably in that case you just branch in, just stay in that canteen with the child for that 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Let the child feel your presence. The child may at that point to report a bully case to you. See, look at this is the person I've been telling you about. The mother at that point to report to the authority and such. You know, that when the child starts feeling that little things that is not altogether easy for you per se, but it's a sacrifice actually. So you are trying to help both yourself, because there is no gain trying to provide for physical needs, financial needs, when the emotional needs, perhaps the spiritual needs and other needs, because they are all encompassing and not scattered.
Yes.
You see, you get one and you leave the other behind. Is plus one minus one, which is actually nothing. So the woman should try in her busy schedule to try to appear in special moments, if not all the time, because I can't say the woman will be there all the time. Let's be realistic. This is somebody trying to be everywhere. Okay, so at some point when you are leaving, you try to make sure you communicate. When you are doing this, try to carry them along. You wake them up. This person is doing the other way. You are communicating. There's a communication in the cars. You are driving them to school. There is a.
You're talking with them.
You are talking. Sometimes you will get to hear this person in the compound barge into our house at so time. The woman is not aware, and it has happened for 1 week. And possibly that person that barged into the house has an evil tendency, perhaps to take advantage of one of the kids. So by the time you are communicating, somebody is saying something, and unconsciously they will mention that one they wanted to hide, and you'll get to know. So don't, in as much as you are busy, try to engage them. I'm not trying to say that that will be regular, but as much as you can. Maintain communication. Be available. Very important. If they are doing graduation, they say don't plan ahead of time. They want somebody from their family, not a cousin, not a grandpa, not a grandma. You, daddy or mommy, somebody from them must be there. Even if it is 5-10 minutes of your appearance, that matters to them.
This is so true.
Yes.
This is so true, because I'm a mother of 3 myself. This is so true. Now, I was talking with a colleague a while ago. She wasn't really complaining. We were just talking generally about kids, and she has 3. 2 are in secondary school. They're in boarding school. But she said something very interesting. She said that anytime they come home, she feels as though they came in with a different personality. But as time goes on, as they interact and communicate, they now change back to the kids that she knows.
Yeah.
What would be your response to this? And should she be worried? It's as if they come back with different personalities.
Okay, there should not be worry per se, but there should be attention. You should give attention to that signal. You should not worry. You know, worry would disturb your sense of reasoning, because at times you get to begin to imagine things that do not really exist. And when you begin to imagine things that do not really, they get withdrawn. At that point, when you begin to imagine things and even become verbal about those things you imagine, they become withdrawn because they feel somebody is not understanding them. So as much as you can, try to, at that point when you understand that this is it, try to pay a visit one of the days to that boarding school. Try to know the environment. Who is it that is saying what? What is happening? If it's a school, try to attend PTA meeting. This is the time you get to know the modus operandi of the school. You get to know the things where this information, this formation of the child is happening. This different human being that you are seeing. All right. So take action. The summary point is take action. Take action to know, to find out if it is something on the positive side or if it's something on the negative side. There are things your children may have learned while they are away for some time that will profit the home. As far as I'm concerned, I learned how to cook better when I was away from home.
Really?
Yes.
As a man?
Yes, I learned how to cook better. So there are some little things you may find to know outside. And if you get a parent that is vindictive or try to put herself or himself ahead of time on the negative side, it makes you not to bring even that good part that he or she will appreciate. So as a parent, you should be open-minded. Get to find out, wow, this way you are behaving, I am loving it. Where did you learn it from? How? Who is that your friend again? Get to know. And become a friend to that his friend.
Yes,
become
that's
a
right.
friend to that her friend. To also, from time to time, get to talk with them. Oh, I saw my friend doing this. Actually, at least appreciate the person. Whatever you can do. Whatever you can do to encourage the good side. And whatever you can do to discourage the
bad side.
The bad side.
Now, tell us, let's talk sex education.
All right.
Oh, I don't know why you're laughing, but let's talk sex. At what point should parents begin to discuss sex education? Because that is one topic that parents shy away from, but it's very paramount. And how should they communicate it?
Good. When is actually not really when the time you think the child is aware of him or herself, or aware in the sense of different experiences happening internally or externally. You start when you are perhaps beating them. If they can understand, even if they cannot understand, say it. There is a way the child understands it. Say it. So when you are beating a girl and you understand that this is a 3-4-year-old girl, when you get to the region, the chest region, you should be able to communicate that this place is for
private.
Yes, this is private. When you get to the down part, you should be able to communicate. So when you are doing that non-verbal communication or verbal communication, it's instilling something in the child unconsciously. For me, that's when it starts. When sometimes my wife gives me the opportunity to beat the boy, at some point when I get to his penis, I know how I react, and I also watch him. If you, as much as I know, there is something he's learning that I don't even know, but at some point he will learn. So as early as you can, 1, 2, 3 years, you should start non-verbal communications. And as the child is growing up to the point he can understand some words, begin to say that this is this and is used for this. All right. And when so person comes and touches this area, you should know that this is what the person wants. And as much as you can, place a report. Don't think the person is doing the right thing, that every part of your body is the same. No, they are not the same. They perform different functions. And when it's violated, it is not going to be to your own benefit. So you should be able to let them understand these things, not from the way your parents taught you about it, because some parents taught us about if a boy touches you,
you're pregnant.
they touch you. Don't become overprotective of the child. Try to make the child understand. Let there be knowledge. And as much as you become aware, communicate. Some parents are not aware of many things, and not being aware is not an excuse.
All right.
Because
ignorance is not an excuse.
The child is suffering it.
All right.
Yeah.
Because we will have just 1 minute, and I want you to, in that 1 minute, how would you advise a parent to react? A parent whose teen is going through bullying in school. How should they react?
Immediately when you notice some behaviors from your child, that's the point to start. You go to the school by yourself. Don't postpone it. The child wants to see your presence in that school because he believes you are more than every other person, including the director or the owner. He know if you see the way some children brag about their parents, that they're going to pull down the school, so they believe, they have so much faith. So act their belief. Be there. Follow it up. Don't do it. I love the way a parent some other time follow the particular result problem up. Every day she will be calling. I want to know if it has been changed. I want to know if this has been corrected. I want to know. The parents is intentional.
You know, it's not just bullying, student bullying. Sometimes it could be teacher-student.
Yes. At the point when you notice some unnecessary marks on the body of your child in terms of punishment, and there are some children, because they are afraid, they may not tell the teacher some challenges they are going through, as to don't flog me here, don't flog me here. And the teacher goes ahead to flog anywhere, maybe because of anger in some. I don't think. So the parents should be there. That's the point. Follow it up from day one, back to back, and ensure that and let the child be carried along. See what happened. Look at how this is what it is. And if it goes beyond this, let me know.
All right, that's great. Thank you so much, Godswill Ubona, for your insights.
All right.
We wish we had you longer, but of course you come back some other time. Thank you so much, and God's grace on the good work here already.
Thank you.
All right, don't go anywhere. New Day continues right after this break.